Hi everyone, it's Michael Martin. I'm here at the Milken Global Conference 2012 in Beverly Hills with Boone Pickens. Can't miss him. Thanks for joining me today. Appreciate it.
Michael.
With the Pickens plan, you have 13 states on board, and yet you lost 51 to 47. In what country can
Now wait a minute, how can you lose 51-46?
I was just going to ask you that. We're both sports fans. How can you win 51-47 but then somehow lose? Explain that to me.
Well, they vote on the amendment that I was trying to get put on the transportation bill.
Right.
And they vote as to whether it's germane or non-germane. Okay, can you imagine heavy-duty trucks transportation bill? Would you think that'd be germane? Well, they voted no.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, when you go no, you have to have 60 votes. You can still pass it, but you have to have 60. Now, you talk about weak-kneed guys that they say that the trucks are not germane. So, anyway, so we lost. We have to have 60. Now we got to go back. We'll change the name of the bill now. We'll change it from Natural Gas Act to Energy Security Act.
Energy Security, right. That's
Yeah, I mean, this thing is like...
Somehow it is, though, right? Because every time we buy foreign oil, we are supporting the Taliban, isn't that right?
When you're buying OPEC oil, you're helping the Taliban, and that mostly goes through Saudi Arabia. But one that's kind of interesting, do you know how much oil comes out of the Straits of Hormuz every day?
I read it, I don't remember.
20 million barrels. Do you know how much of that we use?
All of it?
No.
16?
1.4 million barrels.
Oh, okay. All
right, that's just the oil from the Saudis. And you think, God, why are we over there with our aircraft carriers, 4 aircraft carriers in the area, all the troops, everything else, for 1.4 million barrels a day?
Right, I thought you meant the 16. Don't we use 16 billion in America?
We use pretty close to 20.
20, right. Yeah. That's where I got screwed up. You made a point last night about this war for oil. Had we been going and working with natural gas, going back to whatever, 1977, 1978, when President Carter got on TV, you mentioned a statistic about all the servicemen that we would have saved and their lives and their injuries. What were those numbers?
Well, I want to go back to Vietnam, because it isn't quite germane, but it's an important point. We lost 58,000 people in Vietnam. And we have nothing to show for it, not one thing. When you left, they hated you, and you spent the money. Now we turn around and do the same thing again in Iraq, Afghanistan. Right. We have now spent $1.5 trillion, and we've lost 6,000 people, 30,000 injured. And guess who got the oil out of Iraq?
China.
Yeah. we got nothing. And I don't get it. I mean, it's we must.
Yeah, China was the first ones to come in there and sign those deals right under our noses, and we let them take it away.
That's exactly right.
You mentioned last night in your panel with Mike Milken and Ike Batista that on some level you wouldn't go back to Congress to kind of do it through the political process. You would take it to the American people. As we speak, I'm converting my truck right now to natural gas.
Good.
Right? I want to talk about natural gas as well. Batista said that he's got $15, $16 a barrel lifting costs to get the oil up. With that in mind, how low can natural gas go before it makes no sense to produce any more natural gas?
Well, you're there. I mean, really
the
only drilling I see going on is if you're in the liquid natural gas window of, say, the Marcellus or Utica. Well, you're producing a lot of liquids. So you can justify drilling and almost giving your gas away, but you're getting $100 for your liquids. So that works. Now you move east in the Marcellus, you get in the dry gas. That is shutting down and should shut down.
So I want to talk to you about, the blogosphere is lit up like a Christmas tree with trading ideas in natural gas. Now, I'm a 23-year vet. I have nothing to teach you on natural gas, but I look at the October D spread and it's trading at 65 cents December. To me, it would seem like the spreads are actually the way to trade natural gas at this point until we see a bottom or some reason that would lift the prices. What's your take on the trade?
Well, I'm not playing spreads, and I'm not. I'm long natural gas in 2015.
Okay.
I've got a strip. It's 14, 15, 16.
Right.
And I bought it early, so I've got a loss.
Okay.
And I saw it go from at the point I put that on, it was at $3 and on the spot. So, and but anyway, we're down to 2. I think we've seen the bottom on natural gas, but I don't think it's going to run off right quick. I think you're going to have to get up into the winter and have some winter and start to draw down storage pretty good before you work it on up. But this time next year, I think we'll be at $3.
I was at the Commodities Boom panel yesterday, which included Dan Bisamoyo and Ike Batista, and the question came up from the crowd about the risk premium in crude oil as it relates to the confluence of religion in the Middle East and the duresses between, say, Iran and Israel. And the consensus was that somewhere between $10 and $15 is the risk premium to the crude oil market. Now, one thing that doesn't get mentioned is that with respect to speculators and producers all meeting at the futures market, to me, that's the place where you figure out what the premium is. So it's not necessarily a negative thing, right? It's a place where producers and users of the commodity can meet to express what they feel.
Sure, that's what a commodity market is.
Right. So what's all this hubbub about, there being a $10 or $15 premium? Imagine how bad it would be if there was no commodity market for people to express their views. What would happen to crude then?
Well, see, I'm not sure I buy the $10 to $15 a barrel premium.
Tell me.
To me, it's a market.
Yeah.
And you got a buyer, you got a seller, you got to match everything up. There's a counterpart to every trade.
Yeah.
And I spoke before the Senate Democrat luncheon caucus, and they asked me the question, well, the price ran up to 148 back in 2008, and you guys dumped on the market. I said, you don't understand the market.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it isn't a place that you can sell anytime you want to unless there's somebody to take you out. And I said, if I can't get out 148, I drop to 147, 46, 45, till I find somebody.
Right.
Well, that to me is about as pure a market as you can get. And they want to talk about speculators. And it's amusing that you got to have speculators because you've got people that are hedging positions, and they have to have a counterpart for their trade.
Yeah.
So I think if they would just take off a day and sit down in a classroom,
I'll teach them.
Yeah, it's not hard to understand.
Last question. You mentioned something about crude oil last night. Right now, you've got Brent trading at about a $12 premium going out to the end of the year to the West Texas Intermediate. What is that spread telling you, and what do you think about that spread going forward?
Well, you're producing a lot of oil in the United States is what you're doing.
Okay.
And consequently, it's cheaper here. We got the cheapest energy in the world. Natural gas is a fraction of the rest of the world. You're probably 20 or 25% of prices in Beijing, Mideast, $15 Mideast, Europe 13.
So isn't that a bullish call for the Keystone, pipeline then?
Of course it is.
Okay.
Keystone Pipeline is a cinch. I mean, that's just oil coming to the United States. Why do you want to turn it away? Only if you didn't understand or you had some ulterior motive would you do anything like that.
That's beyond me. Right now we've got, one more question. We have $2.60 natural gas. You've got $16 nat gas in Asia. You're going to have $20 nat gas in China. How can we fulfill that?
I mean, it's such an opportunity. If you're using natural gas, or you can use natural gas, man, you're going to figure out how to get on it.
I will. Boone Pickens, thanks for your
You
time,
bet,
buddy.
Mike.